there might be a ray of hope out in Lakerland. They've been down and out, and I know they're having I know I even have a hard time believing that there's a ray of hope, but it's true. They do. New head coach, Darvin Ham, who 10 years ago was an LA assistant working with Kobe Bryant, is now making the rounds talking about his coaching philosophy. He's former Milwaukee Bucks head coach as well. He's an NBA champion. Things were going pretty well, pretty just like standard questions, until all of a sudden Darvin Ham dropped an insane quote that might be the best quote I've ever heard about the fact that we all work in an industry that's like not really that serious. It's really not like that big. We're not talking about covering the Uvalde shooting here, right? We're not talking about covering the war in Ukraine. Darvin Ham said this: I grew up in Saginaw, Michigan. This is where it gets weird. I was shot in the face by accident. You go through something like that, you do one of two things. It's going to make you fearful or fearless. And it made me fearless. I don't feel no pressure. It's just basketball. Whoa. I need some more clarity on how that went on and like when and are you okay? And like, wow. Yes, Darvin Ham, not a man to be messed with. And if you think that this was just a one-off and that Darvin Ham's going to be the only hard rock on the LA Lakers and it's just him and a bunch of guys from the Frank Vogel era, the Frank Vogel little like minions, you're wrong. News just dropped today, courtesy of Shams. It's a different sound than the Woj bomb. It's a pew, pew. This is the bomb. This is the sound of the Shams bomb. 4-time NBA All-Star Rasheed Wallace has agreed on a deal to be an assistant head coach for the Lakers under new head coach Darvin Ham. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Both were teammates in Detroit and part of that 2004 title team. You guys remember 2004 Pistons? They were the last team to win it all without an all-star. How did they do this? They punched everyone in the mouth. They were tougher. They were meaner. They were stronger. They were dirtier. Literally, they were the toughest NBA team of probably the 21st century. Penny Hardaway, who coached the University of Memphis, where Rasheed coached as an assistant last year, said it was a question of loyalty. I think Rasheed might be going to LA with Darvin Ham. That was the deal from the beginning. If Darvin had gotten a job last year, Rasheed had already promised him that he was going to go with him. So I'm thinking this year with him getting the Lakers job, Rasheed might still be going along with that process. What does that mean for LA, you might ask? Well, it means that they have gone from Frank Vogel and a man named Mike Penberthy. That's his name. I didn't make that up. Google that, and you'll see two soft dudes. To Darvin Ham and Rasheed Wallace. And if you thought Ime Udoka was hard on his team this year, calling him out publicly, saying that they didn't have mental intensity, they weren't tough, they weren't sharing the rock, they were, all these things that he said. If you think that was bad, take that toughness and then add it to someone who was shot in the face. You know what I mean? Like, you think it's going to go like Ime Udoka from Portland, Oregon? Darvin Ham, Saginaw, Michigan, shot in the face. Don't mean to make light of it, but it's a different tribulation here. I know what was going on. And just like wait what Darvin Ham says when Anthony Davis falls on the floor like 6 times and has to leave the game. And he's sitting in street clothes the next night. Listen here, you little fuck. I got shot in the face. You tweaked your ankle, you go out there. It's like a dad that literally, or a mom, where they went through something very traumatic. Like, or even just like I went to college and I had a B, and my mom was like, I had all A's and I was raising your little ass. And it's like, well, but I'm not you. And it's like, yeah, but I was shot in the face. Only thing that remains to me is for Darvin Ham to hire somebody like Gary Payton to come in and teach these guys some defense. Whew. Rob Pelinka said, I don't care really what he says, but I like this team lacked an identity of toughness last season that Ham will bring this season. I mean, yes, that's true. But the question is, truthfully, how do you expect toughness when you're a player who's only off-season, like if you're a front office who's only off-season signings where guys on vet minimums that literally are just trying to get a ring. They're on their last miles. They're literally the 1965 Pinto that's just like not even passing emissions tests. Like, you think like Carmelo wants to get into the paint with Evan Mobley? Like, he wants to go up against Joel Embiid? No shot. You think Dwight Howard's going to throw elbows at Jared Allen? Listen, you can teach a new dog new tricks, but you can't make them run wind sprints when they don't close out on a corner three at some random game, like your name was Stan Van Gundy. So, I don't think so. We all do know one truth, right? And also, really quickly, I'm not saying that this is, like, going to mean anything for the Lakers. Like, that they're not going to – if you're thinking I'm saying that they're going to win any more games, like, they're not. They're not going to the playoffs next year, but they will be fun, and they will be tougher. I'm not saying they're going to get a title. They're still a train wreck. Yeah. But at least now they're a train wreck with a backbone. So that's kind of where we're at, though. But we all do know just one truth. Can't really judge this team until Kendrick Nunn is back on the court fully healthy.